The weight of the past is heavy and insistent, at times brutally apparent, but frequently more prone to insinuate and influence. This weight is presented as positive, offering continuity and lessons from experience, and yet also as negative, indeed a curse. As an instance of the latter, empowerment through grievance is especially damaging, in particular, locating both grievance and empowerment in a misleading as well as destructive historical context. Linked to this empowerment is the prevalence of history wars, disputes about how to present the past, which are the heavily historicized equivalent of the American culture wars. These disputes take the could of academic discussions about how the past could be presented and turn it into the should of how the past should indeed must be explained. In this context, the past becomes a validation for the present, and as such a matter of great significance. History, whose muse is Clio, is thereby made the ammunition of politics, and this ammunition is potent, precisely because the past serves as the basis for ideas and practices of identification. This use of the past is contested, and therefore there is a variety, even confusion, in this book. This variety reflects not only these history wars, but also, more broadly, the Janus-faced character of the past, as, at the same time, the solace of continuity and the sore of grievance. Moreover, whether or not they are affected in these cases by politics, memory and history vie as interpreters, each able to take the approach of continuity or that of grievance. In the following study, I focus on some of these aspects of what is, at once, the kaleidoscopic variety of readings offered of the past, and yet also, more narrowly, a tension between readings that unite and those that divide. These readings focus on historiography in terms of the content of the past that is offered and its political implications, and not on the theoretical frameworks of the historical methods employed, although these methods can play a major role in the direction of research and thus the content that is offered. This book takes forward interests I have developed in earlier studies, and is aimed in particular at student courses on historical method and public history. There is, in chapters 2 to 5, a long historical section, an account of history writing from the ancient world to the here and now, in which I underscore the difference and developments in traditions of history writing. The choice of what to cover in these chapters reflects the need to adopt a multiple perspective on developments in this writing, rather to envisage simply a central intellectual and political course for historiography. The latter approach, with its assumption that it is obvious what must be covered, is of limited value at the global level, where the range in traditions of history writing is highly pronounced. The focus in this book, in chapters 6 to 11, is on recent decades, notably the post-Cold War period, that since 1989. In this focus, there is a deliberate eschewing of Eurocentrism. There is considerable material on Asia, but without suggesting that it represents one non-Western view on history. Indeed, the contrasts in 2014 in content and tone between the claims of relaunching the caliphate and the pursuit of nationalist disputes between China and Japan are striking. I also consider the challenges facing the Western academic concept of history at the present time. In Chapter 12, I turn to the possible future use of the then past, which is a way to open up thought about how we do the same today. Bridging public history and historiography, this book is an ambitious account of the engagement with the past across world history, one focused on history wars. This book discusses the links between the popular and academic approaches to the events and relevance of the past, and also considers their contrasts. In my discussion of popular history, my emphasis on the discussion of the past by ministers, other politicians, and opinion leaders, for example, the editors of newspapers, and not by academics.